We have in our studio architect Vaibhavi Dhond. She is a landscape enthusiast, a landscape architect, and has worked with New Arch LLP for 16 years. New Arch is a well reputed landscape design firm in Mumbai, and she has worked on various projects all across the country. We welcome her today and understand her journey from being a junior architect to an executive partner. Subscribe to the channel and let me know your comments in the comment section. I'm delighted to welcome you, architect Vaibhavi Dhond, today on our podcast. And I would like to really appreciate you coming here. And you work with the New Arch LLP, and which is a very well reputed landscape design firm. And you're the executive partner, ma'am. Please welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Ma'am, I would really like to ask you, sticking by to, one landscape firm for 16 years, there must be some passion behind it. So what is that passion?
Yeah, of course. So, when I passed out, so as per every architect,
Correct.
it was always there with me that I had to start my own office. And I started that, as in my friend and myself, we started one small company, but it was not, we were not having any as in office as such. We were doing our own projects by एक दूसरे के घर पे.
Correct.
So we had one card, it's still with me. So वो पहले छपवाया था हम लोग ने.
That's actually the first thing every newcomer wants to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right.
So what has happened, क्रिएटिविटी है अपने, हाँ, तो वो दिखानी है, तो हम लोग बहुत जोश से सब काम करते थे. लेकिन मेजर पार्ट व्हेन यू डू बिजनेस इज अ रिकवरी, follow-ups, and again regaining that client. So that is a task. And at that time, I always wanted to be as a part of landscape and landscape architecture firm. So then I'll search for a landscape architecture firm, but that time it was not nearest to me, my area. So that time only Kishore Pradhan sir was the famous architect, and it was at central side. So I was doing my own work also, and joining job is a challenge. So I opted for the nearby architects, but at the as in I was there with Kharegat Architects, and that time I was doing a landscape design course in Kalina University. Okay, and I was suffocating because it was always there. Always I wanted to be a part of landscape and landscape architecture. So luckily that professor asked me, are you he was a horticulturist basically, so he was like, you are really want to do career in landscape, then please join Rishikesh Phadke. He has a small firm, but you will get much exposure. So I tried. And in 2008 I joined New Arch, and today I'm with New Arch.
So 2008 and you're the executive partner of that firm. Long journey.
So it was started like a junior architect. So I believe we are a team, and I also say ki we had a set vision from when I entered to New Arch. I was knowing that the people over here are like a family, and they work for same purpose. They have a one purpose and one target. And always there were a brainstorming happened. So that time we as in sir has already set that vision that to perform 100 years.
Okay.
So that is a vision of
whatever project you'll do, that should perform 100 years.
No.
The firm should perform 100 years.
Perform for.
Oh, the firm
should perform for
vision.
That's the vision of the company.
Okay.
And we dilute, as in we taken it as a from when I joined New Arch, from that year it should last for it should perform for 100 years.
Okay.
So that way. So that transformation done in vision.
Yeah.
And it again, there are 4 values, that is meritocracy, progressive, versatile and reliable. I tell you about the meritocracy because that is what my journey is. So first I lead the group of 4. There I was team leader that time. And with the years the structure also changed. And post COVID it is drastically changed. And that time it was a game of mindset. As in it was like entrepreneurship within the organization. So सैलरी पर्पस जो माइंड रहता है ना, उसमें कैसे रहता है कि एट एंड ऑफ द मंथ यू विल गेट सैलरी इन योर अकाउंट.
Correct.
यू हैव दैट माइंड सेट इन योर माइंड. पर अगर किसी महीने में तेरे को सैलरी नहीं मिलती, so how you are going to survive? And that time we as a partner, we are 4 partner, and we took a decision, we will not take a salary for 1 year.
Oh, because you
But-
wanted the firm to grow.
Exactly. And first was the salary should be given to the staff first, and then to us. But by God grace and I don't know, we perform, and we got our pay also, remuneration also, and we are that way we are growing. So that is a mindset I will say that has to be there when you grow as an entrepreneur. So that.
So that's what keeps you going for like 16 years in a landscape firm. So there's a lot of difference between a landscape firm, a firm which specializes in landscape, and a firm which specializes in mainstream architecture, like that is builders, real estate. So what is that difference?
So I would say broader scope required different approach as well as coordination. Unlike architecture projects, mainly that have relatively fixed lifespan. But in case of landscape architecture, it requires regular maintenance and also sustainability of it, and to ensure that you require continuous management and maintenance. So for the also this is one of the reason, and we have a diverse client base. In case of architecture, I think there are types, but in case of because we deal with environmental deviation as in challenges, that those are unique challenges, and also public access. These are the to navigate these hurdles you require a particular as in expertise and knowledge, and this actually have both challenges as well as opportunities. So that way I feel we have a broader scope, and we don't have to focus on small content. In case of architecture, the focus is more on structure,
like
and
say
it's
building hai, to beam, column, structure, slab, foundation. But landscape, that what you're saying, has a bigger scope.
yes, broader scope.
Yeah, broader scope, exactly. But what are the like we talk about scope, what are the different categories like you can work?
So I said we one of the value is versatile. Why versatile? It is not suddenly come. Because we work on different categories of project, that is master planning, hospitality, hospitals, that is campus of hospitals, residential of course because majority are residential projects, and even entertainment as in the amusement parks or water parks. All these are the categories. Also commercial parks as in IT parks. Those are our scopes.
Okay. So while you're hiring, say for example you're hiring a landscape architect, so you all must be hiring architects as well in your firm, or only landscape architects you all hire?
So see, I tell you, to run a landscape architecture as a business, you need a team which is of diverse talent. So there is a team of architects and landscape architects for the creativity, but for the execution part of it, you require technical team. Those are draftsmen, visualizers, and to control all this system and administration, you require operation systems. And for managing that, again, you require managers. And managers need not to be an architect.
They could be project managers
Yes.
as well. All right.
That is how the team builds.
Okay, so that's how your company setup works.
Yes.
So while talking about company setups and everything, how do you deal with so because there are so many people, there are so many teams involved. So how do you divide your client base? How does that session work?
So actually, likewise I said, we are 4 partners. So all the projects which come in Nuage, those are divided into those partners, and each partner can work with any associate, and associate can work on any projects, whichever we takes up. So that is how that hierarchy works with the projects. So of course, but with the period of time, we realized, say, my specialty is working on the plot schemes or maybe amusement parks. That because I had done many projects of it. So sometimes you have to specialize in some part. So that is how we are thinking to either to divide, not enough experience, but experience.
Ma'am, you're being modest when you say that 16 years has not given us that one, but you've done n number of projects.
Of course.
And you're still being so eager to learn. Like, this is the quality what I think all of us should.
Because
have.
every project gives you different challenges and opportunity, and you have to deal with that. So sometimes those challenges are not design related. Those are non-design challenges. That also we need to deal with.
Like you said, landscape architect, very good. Landscape learning is very good. The course is very good. But the business aspect of it is a different ballgame altogether.
Of course.
How to make money out of this landscape business. Also, ma'am, clientele. Clientele bhi aise hone chahiye, because not a lot of people I don't know, they don't even know about landscape architecture. That's an afterthought.
Yes.
This is what I believe.
Yes, definitely.
It comes as an afterthought. So
but I would say thanks to COVID for that part. Because COVID has lightened up all these views of landscape architecture. Because every common man also he also realized that open space is required. And that open space should be dedicated to particular function. And that is where our roles comes.
Just open space khali chhod ke, there's no point. So what do you design it, how people interact with it?
Its functionality and viability is very important. So that,
ma'am, I actually, again, a little out of the question, ma'am, what about these flyovers and all?
Yes.
कि जो flyovers बन रहे हैं, अभी जो coastal road बना है, what are your views on that?
See, infrastructure is necessary, but a combination of environmental needs and this infrastructure is very necessary. So if we omit this part, it is again going to come back onto us. And we know global warming and all this happening. So we need to very, very careful about whatever we are doing has to be balanced. So if we are cutting few number of trees, we have to take as in this is our responsibility to give back to the earth. So that is my approach. It is very, very necessary, because otherwise infrastructure is necessary.
For the developing cities
like, yes, of course it is necessary, but there has to be balance. Somewhere we are doing so urbanization, so there has to be curated areas for the green corridors. And also see, the main part is services. The services, as in the stormwater management, is very necessary. Otherwise flooding and all this disaster would definitely going to come. So long-term planning is what required, where landscape plays a role, because it's take care of that future coming weathering events.
Met students who think landscape architect, at first, when even I was a student, I had that notion that landscape architect is all about selection of planters, what plant goes where. So, because you worked in this form for like a decade, more than a decade, what are your views on that?
So, of course, it is not just a selection of plant palette. It is shaping of the open spaces.
Okay.
So every open space has its own function, own requirement. So वो बोलते हैं ना, ये space ये बोलता है, वो दिमाग में आता है when you think that way. See, if I designing some space for some, say I again take an example for amusement park which I did, that is master planning of SL World.
Yeah.
So everything was placed, but there, see, we were designing the streetscape that time. And their problem was, जो operation team है, they were facing the problem of the placement of benches, placement of dustbins, and other stuff which is lying on the footpaths. So there was a challenge to them, because people used to come and do the disaster, all these small elements.
Correct.
So that strategy was important, how to deal with that. So what we have done is place for the item for the place. That means अगर वो बंदा सुबह आके इधर का कचरा निकालने वाला है, तो बाद में वो किधर डस्टबिन रखना है, वो किधर भी रख के जाता था. So that place was defined with the common sense, like he is a guy who is as in he has no understanding of that design part, but just making that area with white tiles, and you have to keep that dustbin on that. Why white tiles? Because if it is a shabby, it will be really seen. So he has to take care of that.
Take care of that.
So that was a small idea which we come up with. So
that's very innovative.
Yeah.
Like so dedicating a place for each of the functions.
Yes.
That's what helped you design that streetscape.
Yes.
That's very interesting. Also, what are the different challenges which you all face? Like even with clients, or even with the, as you said, technical team ho gaya. Any challenge that you faced and you're proud of that?
Yeah.
You know, that finally you've overcome this challenge.
So I again tell you one project with SL World only. Are you aware of that bird park? SL World has a bird park.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm aware.
So that is we have done.
All right.
Okay. So it was like we had to finish it with in 8 months.
All right.
So from conceptualization to execution and the opening within 8 months. So it was a tremendous pressure on us, and it is like a walk-in aviary. And we had to design not a sanctuary or something. It is a aviary, that is a habitat for birds.
Birds, yes.
So it's not a just a sanctuary, because the birds they were exotic birds, and their atmosphere from where they came, it was totally different.
So
they had to accumulate
even research on the bird itself.
Yeah,
that
definitely.
was the challenge then.
That was a challenge, and we these birds are very curious. They have a tendency to see some new thing. They had to have a habit to bite it. And if it is non-healthy to that bird, the bird will die. And each bird cost 15 lakhs.
Oh my
So
God.
it was like a baby which we had to take care in our design.
And you all had to build a habitat for it. Oh my God.
So it was, but it was a nice journey, because we met good person like bird handler. Those help us in our design process.
So those people helped you with the design process because they told you about these birds.
Yes.
That it helped you do your survey or research.
Yes.
So again, ma'am, coming to survey research, like a lot of landscape projects, need this community involvement. It needs people. You all need to talk to people. कि तुमको कैसे space चाहिए. So how do you do that then?
So yeah, best part is to always involve your design process. That is we call as collaboration.
Okay.
So even with the whoever are stakeholders, I think the one design workshop shall be done with them to understand their requirements, their needs, because ultimately we are designing for them. So and then with our expertise and knowledge, we can shape that and again, sustainability plays a role, because we cannot just do everything for aesthetic purpose.
Correct.
That way.
Your idea should be sustainable.
Yes.
कि मतलब at least for, as you said, अगर आपको 100 years perform करना है तो 100 years का target भी set करना
हाँ,
पड़ेगा.
तो एग्जॉटिक और एलियन कोई एलिमेंट हम लोग अगर वहाँ पे प्रपोज करते हैं तो आज मिलेगा, वो मुझे 15 साल के बाद मिलेगा क्या? तो दैट इज़ वेरी इम्पोर्टेंट. So even selection of every palettes, including lighting, material and plant, we have to be very careful while we design for long-term projects.
Correct. Also ma'am, like you said, अभी like जैसे आपने बोला community engagement करते हो आप. Any such project that you have done a lot of community engagement?
Right now we are doing one project in Iraq. And so this is basically a pilgrimage hospitality project in Iraq.
Okay.
So in that project, it is like we really need to understand that community. It is not the same hospitality which we, unlike Club Mahindra and all. There are particular needs. We really need to understand their history also, and the daily schedule of them. Even their lunch and dinner, how they happens, and we need to design that spaces accordingly. Even the pathways, generally what we say, standard pathway should be minimum 1.8.
Correct.
But it is not the way in that case. It's different. So that is how we have to
A smallest
understand.
thing like designing a pathway is different from India than of Iraq and
Of
the
course.
people of Iraq. And like you said, lunch and dinner time. I mean, we would say, how does that matter? But I, as a designer, know how that matters, because अभी देखो, अभी IT parks है, our lunch time is from say 12 to 12:30.
Yeah.
1 to 2:30. So we divide spaces according to that. But I'm sure उधर का system भी अलग होता होगा.
So that is like that location where the site is. From there, 15 minutes walk, there is a holy space. That is Imam Ali's main holy space.
Yeah.
And for that particular holy space, people come from all the way, all over the India.
Okay.
And it is a tremendous crowd. One event, one or two events. But that time, the crowd is almost 5,000, 10,000 at a time.
So you'll need to plan for that time
So,
also.
yeah. So, considering all these aspects, that designs plays a tremendous study first
Cultural
study.
background, social background.
Exactly.
उनका पूरा वो दिनचर्या you should know, like as a designer.
Correct.
Like going that deep into research, that's extremely important.
And also it has a very, very strong history, beautiful history, because that particular area falls during that Babylon dynasty history it has.
But any other project which you're like so proud of?
Yeah, currently it's an ongoing project in France. It's a outskirt of France, which is Richesburg, or at the Belgium borders. So the project is a competition project which we won, and it is based on the as in piece of garden. It is for the soldier who died in First World War. And in France, the one organization is there, that is Art and Jardins. They are taking this initiative to build these gardens for each country. There are many countries were involved. So few gardens are already built, that is Australian garden, American garden, and Portugal garden. And right now the plot which is given to us, it is of 3 gardens, that is Portugal garden, which is already executed, then Indian garden and British garden. So currently the Indian garden is a ongoing project. So we already made one audio of explanation of that particular overall thought process and concept. We played that. And
that was in English only?
Yeah, that was in English, but they can stop and then say. So एक रहता है ना, एक पूरा flow रहता है when you explain and someone stops you in between, then that flows फ्लो थोड़ा कट हो जाता है.
Yeah.
लेकिन फॉर विद दैट
That's a
ऑडियो
very smart idea.
Yeah.
कि हाँ, till you don't get it, you keep playing for yourself.
So it was stop and play. They were stopping, and then he was translating in French, and then he was talking, looking at me. I was not understanding anything. It was a funny situation, but it was nice experience. So we almost 2.5 hours spent in his cabin, and it was all like that.
So you all must have shown him drawings, renders,
Yes.
models even.
Model we did not do because we had a good, nice views, renders.
Yeah.
So you understood.
Again, like now we are talking about this. What is the so this is for especially for the students part of that question. What is expected from, like, are these renders different? Are the drawings different than our mainstream architectural structural drawings?
No, it is not like that because ultimately it's an architecture. So it is same thing, but layers changes because in case of landscape, it is always what is happening below ground and what is building nearest to the ground. So and combination of that.
Okay.
So that all changes with the
Like
actual.
you said, stormwater drainage. So drainage is also a big part of landscape.
Of course,
So
but
that changes.
actually in particularly in France project case, that was an outer challenge because the project was having bioswale. So
Okay.
it was like कि एक तो वहाँ पे बारिश कभी भी गिरता है. So and when it falls, it is not flooding kind of situation. It's dries. So that was never a challenge. So it was when very.
So it was a more aesthetic and a more because it's a peace garden.
Peace
so it
garden.
has to depict something.
Yes.
It has to showcase something.
Yes.
So definitely, after this conversation, people are going to go and check peace garden who won the competition.
Yeah, so it was having really beautiful thought process because if you read about the First World War history, they have fought in extreme conditions without any help, without any guidance. Some of them were kids below 18, and it was a trench war.
Okay.
So our garden is representing that trench war and
Okay.
victory.
What do you see as a quality before hiring Aditya?
So we have a very curated process that is we call as alignment program.
Okay.
So what is this alignment program is and why it is necessary? See, when you pass out after doing 5 years ka course, you have to be very determined what you really want to do, and that focus leads you to the success or excellence of the area which you choose. So it is very necessary whether that candidate is really interested in landscape. Otherwise, he should take a interest in which he can excel. अदरवाइज मेरे को ये एक्सप्लोर करना है, ये माइंडसेट नहीं चलता है. 5 years are enough to understand and take a decision what you really want to do. So this alignment program is basically depends upon the 3 to 5 days, depends upon the experience that candidate has. If it is a fresher architect, it is a 3-day alignment. 3-day means you have to come down to office for 9 to 6:30 and you have to spend that 3 days fully in the office to understand
this. Is even before he becomes a part of the
yes.
firm. Okay, so he sees what's going on.
Yes, this is a fair chance to him also, her also, and us also to take a decision. After 3 months probation, we are telling you that it is not happening, then it's a mere waste of time and money for him also, us also.
And for us also, correct.
We don't give live projects, of course. We don't want to take away some material from them we don't utilize that, but it is curated.
No, but the basic thought process, the idea of the candidate who's coming, that is very important, and not a lot of firms are doing this.
Yeah.
So this could be an add-on for them also. Let's say, for example, if you're looking for some candidate, as you said, 3 months का probation से अच्छा है तुम उसको बुलाओ a week. Just see what's going on around.
And there
you.
are lot many candidates which are gone in one day only because they realize that this is not what I wanted to do.
Correct.
So, and those are completed as a 3 days and given good inputs. They are there in our company right now. So that is how we filter that talent. We strongly believe in processes.
Okay.
And with the period of time we develop that. So see, when you take a vision as a to perform 100 years, सी आज मैं हूँ, कल मेरे नीचे कोई नहीं रह कोई दूसरा आने वाला है, और वो आने वाला है तो उसको खुद से वापस नहीं कुछ करना पड़ेगा. दैट द प्रोसेस विल टेल हिम और टेल हर व्हाट टू डू. That has to be written and properly in the system so that he can upgrade. That will not start from scratch. That is how we generally call, we have a process driven culture.
That's your office culture, which is process driven, and which is but that's actually a very good thought. That's again, like you said, sustainable thought.
Yes.
कि तुम पहले, even if you're not there, बोलते ना, the show will go on.
Yes.
The process will go on. That's how an office actually should. It's automated basically.
Yeah. And again, another thing is technology, which is you can say for the blessing for the humanity, or tool for the humanity.
Yeah.
How to use and how to get a use and upgrade ourselves is up to us. So you need to be progressive mindset. You should have that progressive mindset, which is one of the value.
Again. You're like so sticking to the values of the company, but they're ingrained in you.
Yes.
That shows that all these values,
See,
they're not just written on paper. They are like
Correct.
literally ingrained in each and every one of the employees of your company.
Yes,
Which is
definitely.
How that would work.
And this kind of methodology or whatever we have built, it has some purpose. That is why we are aligning to that purpose. We believe also in on time and one time delivery.
Okay.
That is one of the success parameter for the client expectation, or which is counted for client. So ये कैसे measure करेंगे? So we have our own software that is we called as MCV, My Cockpit View. So we have a internal company which is a separate company, but it is Nuage Infotech.
Okay.
So we have our own software and all the systems, all the task assignments. So I can tell you what is happening right now in my office by just having a look at dashboard.
Oh.
So which are the projects are running, who is working, how
On
many
what
hours he is
project?
working, and for that every project's submissions has deadlines. So if we miss that, then it gives a delay count. That is how on time and one time is a revision again. How many revisions you have done, that is also counted.
Okay.
So
you all have built your own company process. You all have built your own software to understand. Oh, that's lovely. I never knew this existed. So that's a new for me as well.
So to understand it deeply, you should meet Rishikesh sir.
That's his baby.
Yeah, he's his baby
Okay.
and his partner baby, and we are taking advantage.
By following the process till it's tea.
Yes.
Just your personal opinion, like what is, so when a project comes by, what is your first instinct? जैसे अभी हमने student को brief दिया, design student को brief दिया, the first instinct is maybe he'll start sketching, brainstorming, talking to people. What's your process?
So earlier we used to do 15 mm. 50 mm, do you know what is 15 mm?
No, I don't.
So there is a group which are sitting. You have 15 minutes. You have to just write down. You have 15 minutes. Within 15 minutes, you can write whatever, sketch whatever, and then brainstorm again.
All right.
So that is a 15 mm. But right now, what we are doing is we call it design canvas.
Okay.
So where we first set a vision for the project, and to achieve that vision, what are the goals? That has to be written.
Okay.
And to achieve that goals, the strategies should be planned. So that is how the project's initiation is started.
Okay.
So again, to set the design canvas or write the design canvas, you of course need some workshops. So those are necessary, not within the team, with the collaboration of client.
All right.
So that is how we approach generally. We don't start generally don't go to board directly to start sketching or doing
First, you'll
some.
make the structure outline of the entire
Yes.
project, and then you'll start.
Yes.
So not like the typical designer what we see in, in a lot of people are doing this. As soon as we got a brief, people start sketching and
So that
doing
is
renders.
a temporary sense. It
Solution.
temporary solution. It can't long last. Now you can do it, but I can't do it. Then what?
Yeah.
So that is how it
A
should
more
be.
practical approach
Yes.
actually. It's a
Yes.
better practical approach. Long term thinking. फिर आप design करो.
Exactly.
Designing, again as you said, designing is as important, मतलब उतना ही important जितना कि process important है.
Exactly.
कि execution is way more important than just designing. Design तो यार मतलब
हाँ, वो never ending है.
Yeah, it's never ending. But
It's never
process
ending.
is time bound. कि तुम्हें
Yes.
पता है तुम्हें इतने time ये
Yes.
complete करके देना है. One
Again,
time delivery.
see, in service, and we are in service industry,
Perfect.
and we had to adhere to timeline. एंड ऐसे नहीं है कि उसमें क्वालिटी चला जाना चाहिए. ऐसे नहीं है. टू अचीव दैट क्वालिटी, दीज आर द प्रोसेसेस.
Sounds, I mean, this is, I think I agree to this 100%.
So there are 5 P's we generally call.
Okay.
That is, firstly, people.
Okay.
Then people has a purpose. People work on the projects for the profits. And though these profits are 3 types. Like, first is social, environmental and economical. So ये हो गया profit and process.
I think you'll have done a project on Bhindi Bazaar.
Yes.
I mean, knowing the typology of Bhindi Bazaar, it's not a very easy project to deal with in the first place.
Correct.
Because it's always so crowded and it has a long history of just being the same for years and years around. How do you intervene that? What's that intervention?
There are multiple stakeholders, like hawkers hai. There are multiple local businesses are there. Then community. All these people have lived their life generation in generation. And this is basically upliftment project. And for them, it is really a challenge to accept new atmosphere around them. So they are given a priority within our design. Even in architecture also, if you say one sector, the 3 floors are dedicated to shops.
Okay.
Completely face of the elevation is dedicated to shops, these local businesses. And the open spaces are left are only roads. And roads are divided into carriageway, vehicular road and footpaths. So footpath has a very tight situation, but we have come up with the idea that we should create some parklets. Parklets are basically small gardens piece which has a sitting areas and to have a socializing and some green space. So throughout the footpath you won't see a urban kind of concrete thing, but it will be having some vegetation and which will take care of the at least environmental part of that area.
So that's an idea intervention that you all have added to this
Yes,
project.
yes.